Hello everyone, so today we are going to be doing the rear active toe, and as well as we're going to do the rear aluminum arms, as well as the adjustable aluminum arms, which is pretty cool. I'm pretty excited. I did already kind of start experimenting with trying to see how this comes apart because I haven't done it before. But flip it to this side. So under here, you see that little ring? Let me grab a thingy. All right, so this ring usually sits right on here, and I wasn't really sure how to get it off. So what I did is I took a needle nose pliers, I went over here, and I pinched this down so it kind of compressed it a bit, and then I was able to slide the ring off with this. So just so you guys are aware, if you're not sure how to do that, that is what I did. And yeah, let's get cracking with taking this bad boy apart. I've already opened this package, but a set of instructions comes in, as well as all the goodies you need. So, rear arms, which I got aluminum ones, so we're going to use those instead. And bearings, screws, rods, all the other good stuff. And the knuckles, and it looks like a couple other bits and bobs in there as well. Awesome. All right, and now I'm gonna crack open this package. So the other package also comes with a set of instructions. Obviously, you know, we got the aluminum instead, and then obviously everything that goes with it as well. So I think what we're gonna do first is build this, and then put them together. And then we'll take the car apart and then put it on the car. So it goes on as like one assembly. So I'm probably gonna follow like the OEM setup just because I like how the car feels and I don't really want to change it. But yeah, so opening these up, obviously these do come apart because you do have to screw them in, and they're not screwed in already. But these are what they look like. And yeah, like I said, we're gonna go with the OEM position, which is looks like the downwards arrow. So I'll have to look for that, and we'll get it set up. I'll show you guys. But yeah, I'm super excited for this. What I did, I put the MST stickers on the side I want facing upwards. And if you aren't sure which side you want facing upwards, you go based off that little dot. So the little dot downwards is the OEM position, and upwards is like the lowered position, I guess. So it drops the arm by 1 millimeter. So if you want a lower ride height, that's a way you can do it. But personally, I don't want a lower ride height. I like where my ride height's at. So we're gonna leave it right there. According to the instructions, it's saying to run 5 millimeters of spacing to have the original length. And so these thick ones right here, those are 3 mil, and these thin ones are 1 mil. So it's only 4. So you will need extra spacers. Fortunately, I do have some, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, if you are looking to get the original length, you will need to get extra spacers. So that is something to look out for. Otherwise, if you don't want to and you want to run it inside a little bit, you know, you can run whatever combination you want to run. Because I'm going to be running the 5 millimeter, I do have to use the longer bolt. So just keep that in mind. There's longer ones, and then there's shorter ones, and then obviously the really tiny ones, but those are for something completely different. So the spacers I grabbed actually don't fit inside of here, so I'm going to be running just these, which means the end is going to sit slightly inwards, about 1 millimeter, which is fine. My wheels are adjustable offset, so I'll just adjust them to kind of make up for that. But just so you are aware, like I said, you know, if you only run what's given to you, it's going to sit slightly inwards, or, you know, maybe you want it slightly inwards. So it's up to you. So I got the first one assembled. It was pretty easy. So what I did was I put the screws in the back, and I held them with my finger underneath so they wouldn't fall out. And then I just dropped the spacers in. And then while still holding the back, I kind of just attached it. And then you can go ahead and just screw in the screws from there. Super simple to do. But yeah, so this one's ready. I'm gonna do the other one, and then we can probably get cracking on this bad boy. Alrighty, got both of them done. Obviously you will need the rod and the spacers in here, but I'm gonna just rip them off of the car right here. So once we take this apart, then I'll grab this, put them onto here just so they remain the same. It did come with extra rods, so if you do want to use a new rod, you can. But it doesn't have those little spacers, so you will need to get the spacers, either an extra set or, like I said, I'm just rip them off the car because I know they work. Also, one more thing, obviously you're gonna have to put that little tiny screw into here to hold this into place, but I'm not gonna do that yet because we got to put these on first, and so there's really no point in putting it on just to take it off, just so we have to put that on. So I'll be putting that on once we do this. So I got everything out that I'm gonna be using, most likely. I'm going to be using a couple more things in here, but a lot of small parts, so I don't want to take it all out right away. But yeah, I'm going to show you guys how to build one, and then the other one's basically the same. So obviously there are in the instructions as well. So let's see here. These spacers in here are optional. And if you do want to run those, if you look on the back, let's see here. Yeah, right here. It lowers your ride height by 1. So if you want to lower your ride height, run that spacer. If you want to keep it where it's at, don't run it. Hello from the future. I did actually end up putting the spacer in the upper position. Yeah, so you can't really tell from here, obviously, because it's buried, but I did put that spacer in the upper position, just so you guys are aware. I'm not sure if you're supposed to run it without that spacer like I originally had it. I still haven't gone to the track or anything with this yet either, so I haven't run it without the spacer, but probably should put that spacer in just in case. So to start off, we are going to have these flat top screws. Just note that there is another set of flat top screws in here, but they are a lot shorter, so use the longer ones. And so I'm going to have a flat top screw, then this kind of half moon kind of shape looking spacer is going to go over the top of this, and then from there we're going to have one of these bearings. I'm going to have to make sure which one, but it's going to go into here. So if you, to make sure which one, just stick it over the end of this and see which one fits a lot more nicely. From the instructions, it looks like the one with the wider is the one that's going to fit. So let's take a peek right here. Let's just see. Yeah, so it's probably going to be this bearing that goes inside of here. And then the ones with the smaller holes are going to go inside of here. So I'll confirm just to make sure. But yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. Yeah, I was correct. The one with the wider holes does go into here. The ones with the smaller holes don't even go around this. So that kind of helps, you know, just to make sure, you know, always just test fit it, just so you don't mess up anything. So I put these together, and then from there, we're going to put this little thing that I made earlier, and that's going to go into the bottom, and that's going to screw up into the tiny hole that is in here. And then before you screw it in, just make sure this side is like this. So you're going to have this little like kind of hole thing right to the outside, and make sure that's facing to the ground too, because obviously you don't want it facing upwards because that's the wrong way. So I just got to kind of snug in there. There's very, very tiny little bit of play. I didn't crank it down, but this thing can spin freely. So that's how I set it up. We'll see. We'll keep going from there. If I think I need to tighten it, I'll tighten it down and I'll let you know. But yeah, that's how you set this part up. And then we're going to put the bearings in here. And then we might have to rip apart the car for the parts that are needed, because there's some that aren't included because you're supposed to reuse them off of the car. So I basically got the whole thing assembled. I put the little ball cup in there, and I assembled the adjustability for the active toe as well. I set it to the stock, or what they recommend, which is 5 millimeters. And remember, one side is reversed, the other side is normal. So that is indicated by those little marks you see on there. And that means the normal side is the marks closest to, and the reverse side is where the marks aren't. So if you didn't know that, well, now you do. But yeah, I set that to 5 millimeters, which is what they request. And this is basically done. Just got to put these in. But then to put these in, I need the axles, which means we need to rip apart the car, which we'll do in a little bit. But I'm going to assemble the other one, and then we'll rip apart the car and then get these put in. Before we put it in, I'm going to attach it first. Super simple. So obviously this hole on the side of this right here, that's going to line up with the hole for here. And then we're going to put in those tiny screws to keep the rod locked in. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. So I slid the rod through. Pretty simple, fits in pretty good. And then rotate this down, and then I'm just gonna put those screws in so that rod doesn't fall out. And yeah, this is ready to go on the car basically. So I got them both together, and now we're gonna start ripping off these bad boys. Like I showed earlier, all I did was pinch that down and then use a flathead screwdriver to kind of push it out. So yeah, so to take this off, pretty simple. So we're gonna need to take that off right there. I think that comes off on the other side. And then obviously you'll have to take this off. And I didn't think I mentioned it yet, but we are gonna be replacing this with the adjustable. And then we're gonna take the toe blocks off, and then we're gonna take the bottom side of the suspension off. We can leave the top side because it's not connected. So I'm gonna do those real quick, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like when I'm done. So I got the one side off. It's pretty easy. All I did was take off the front toe block right here, which is the two missing ones right under there. And then I slid that out. And then I took off the bottom of the suspension. And it comes right out. And then from here, you just pull this off. Be careful not to lose that because that is behind this. So when you pull that off, just be sure to grab that. And then this will slide out. And we do need the axle. We do have replacement one of these, so I'm going to use the replacement. And then, yeah, this is what's left. It is kind of dirty. My shocks are super leaky, so, you know, the oil gets all over and, you know, the dirt and shit gets kind of crusted up. So, but yeah, we are going to seal this part for the ends of these. And then we're going to take the axle, obviously. And there's a couple pieces we got to add to the axle according to the instructions, and I'll show you guys that too. One more thing I forgot to mention, there are little shims on the end right here, so don't lose those as well. So when taking the shaft from the old one, you are going to need spacers, and these spacers were included in the package. It also tells you to use spacers in the instructions. So you're just going to put one on each side. And then if you can't remember, the thick one goes towards the middle. If you're running the stock stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna put those spacers on, and then this thing should be ready to go. This is what it looks like with the spacers. So I got this all assembled. It's a little difficult. Instructions kind of don't really give you too much information, but obviously you got to reuse the axle and that little kind of like cylinder thing. But then you got to put a set screw in there for whatever reason. And I'm assuming that sits on that little groove that comes with the new shaft. So I'm not sure. That's how I set it up. Just got to be really careful. A lot of small parts. And then, yeah, you should be good otherwise, other than that. It stays together pretty well. Make sure nothing's cranked down too tight. You know, you want a little bit of movement with it, you know. If it's too tight, things are going to bind up and they're not going to run well. So I got it all together. I just popped it back on. Same way I took it off. Pretty simple. Do got to reuse this for the suspension, or I mean the upper control arm kind of. I want to figure out how to get this out without having to remove all this. If I have to remove all it, I have to. But yeah, so then I'm going to replace this with the Yeah Racing turnbuckles, and I'm going to set it to what they recommend. And then I'll show you guys the finished product. I got everything back installed except for these, and I'll show you guys those in a sec. Super easy. But I decided I'm going to keep the stock for now, simply due to the fact that I'm lazy, and this side's a bit hard to get off without removing all this, and I'm too lazy to do that. I did order a new shock tower, an aluminum one, so I'm just going to change them out when I do that because that's part of it. And then, yeah, so I'm going to show you guys this piece right here, and then everything's all ready to go. So you should have these two pieces and these two flat screws, and that's really all you need to install this. So I'm going to put them on the innermost hole right here. I think the stock MST chassis only has one hole, but because this is the Bingo Wasp, it has multiple holes, so you can pick and you got a lot more adjustability. Anyway, I'm gonna go on the innermost hole, and we're gonna see how it looks, and then we can adjust it from there. So I got everything in. Everything is how it should be. I did end up actually putting those turnbuckles in, because you actually do need those. So yeah, I did end up putting those in. And then as you can see, we're above here, we can look at this wheel probably a bit clearer. As the car compresses, it goes inwards. I have a very, very light right now, but you can adjust it how dramatic you want. But yeah, so there it is. Let's see if I can line it up. So let's get this lined up with the lines. There we go. Looks like that's about lined up with the lines. And then as I compress it, yeah, you can kind of see I have a very minimal, like I said, but it does go slightly in that way, which is pretty nice. All of that, you know, that stuff we mess with, you know, spring rate rise, like softer the springs you have, the more dramatic that will be and everything. But yeah, it's just stuff you got to mess around with, see how you like it. I got to take this to the track and see how I feel about it. But yeah, that's it for the install. Now it's just basically cleaning up everything. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Hopefully I didn't skip over anything. And yeah, if you guys did enjoy, leave a like. And if this did help you, you know, leave a like and subscribe. And this build is almost done. Yeah, I got shocks and a couple other minor bits and bobs. Also, I ended up doing the front bulkhead and this piece right here. So that looks really nice. And yeah, this build is coming together great, and just can't wait for it to be done.